It was very traumatic. It was not what any mom would want to hear.
Carol was pregnant with her first child and had a routine ultrasound. It revealed that her daughter had excessive fluid in her brain.
The one doctor I had said that she probably had an 80% chance of being mentally retarded, blind, and/or deaf because of the compression of the brain while she was forming in my body.
That same doctor encouraged Carol to have an abortion. She and her husband, Paul Stanzioni, didn't even need to discuss it.
The easiest decision was to change doctors.
God's given us this child, and if He wants us to have this child, whatever the issues are, we're going to have this child.
Carol carried the baby full term, and they named her Sandra. She had several physical deformities. The most noticeable was a missing left eyelid, but there were other problems.
And when they started working with her eye, they also found that she also had a hole in her heart. As more and more tests were made, more and more problems would just show up.
Sandra had kidney issues.
We noticed that her left side was not keeping up with the right side. Her left arm was smaller, her left leg was smaller. So it was a very difficult first year.
One day the doctor called and gave them more bad news.
He said that if her kidneys continued to deteriorate at this rate, she would be dead within the year. I just remember hanging up the phone and had my back to the wall, and I just slid down the wall and just broke down and cried. And I had no hope. I did not have hope. I did not know where to go. I did not know what to do.
Even though Carol and Paul are Christians, they felt they had no one to turn to.
My daughter needed healing, and I wanted somebody to help pray with me. And I went from church to church, and I basically got the same answers, was that God made her this way, you have to accept this. It was devastating. It was a very isolating time.
Carol was flipping through channels one day and found a show she'd never watched before, the 700 Club.
There's nothing impossible for God.
Pat Robertson was on TV, and he started talking about a God who still heals. A God who still heals. Wow, those are incredible words. I had not heard them in any of the churches. I had not heard them from the people. I just heard that I had to just accept the way Sandra was going to be, probably in a wheelchair or probably with a walker. But this man on TV said there's a God who still heals. That was amazing. It was amazing. It was exactly what I needed to hear.
When Carol discovered the 700 Club and heard of a God that does heal today, it was awesome. And then we started believing that Sandra can be healed. God can do this.
There was hope for Sandra. There was hope.
Carol began watching the show every day. One time, while praying for Sandra's kidneys, she says she felt power go through her hand as she touched her daughter's back. The next doctor visit revealed something amazing.
She had another ultrasound, and the hole in the heart was gone. And they could not find anything wrong with her heart.
And I start jumping up and down. I go, oh, it wasn't her kidneys, it was her heart. It was her heart. I'm jumping up and down, and I'm praising God.
We began to believe that God can do anything.
That happened almost 20 years ago. Since then, Carol and Paul say there have been many more miracles. The biggest one was the joy of watching their daughter grow up.
I mean, she has eyelashes where they couldn't really grow. It's just skin pulled from the side of her face, but God put eyelashes on that eyelid.
God did that miraculously, so I can have eyelashes even though it's not a typical normal eyelid.
The hole in her heart is gone. Her kidneys are now functioning at normal. She has 2 legs that are absolutely perfect and beautiful. She went on to be a cheerleader.
She's now on the dean's list at the college she goes to, and I am just so proud of her. There's nothing that she can't do trusting in God.
Today, the Stanzioni family says they have been forever changed through the healing power and love of Jesus Christ.
The Bible says all things are possible through Christ, and I just want people to understand that they really can trust Him and focus their lives around Him, because He really is the only one that we can fully depend on and trust in.
Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever.
I've seen His healing touch, I've felt His healing touch, and He does heal today. And the biggest story is, like I said, is not as the heart or the hands or the legs, it's the lives that have been changed. There is hope that you just can't get from the world or even individual religions. It's about a God who loves us, and He still is. It's very exciting.